With Halloween just around the corner, it won't be long before us Let's Player types begin dusting off the horror titles and soiling our pants in the name of entertainment. Okay, maybe not me, I'm too scared, but even if you're not a Let's Player, there's no reason why you can't join in on the frightening festivities and play some horror games yourself. With that in mind, here's a list of 10 games that I think would be perfect for October. I'm gonna try my best not to spoil the stories for you, in case there's one you really want to play, but if I do need to give some information away so that what I'm saying makes sense, spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. Oh, and some of these entries are quite gory. If you're the squeamish type, you have been warned. So in no particular order, we have number 1, Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion, formerly known as Spooky's House of Jump Scares. Can you survive 1,000 rooms of cute terror? Because that's the premise of this adorably spooky free game. Things start off pretty tame for the first few rooms, with the most scary thing being cardboard cutouts popping out in front of you. But the further in you go, the worse it gets, and you get the feeling that there's something much more sinister going on in this mansion. I don't want to spoil too much for those who haven't played it, but be prepared to run, hide, and listen like your life depends on it, because it really does. And if that's not enough cute terror for you, there's always the very cheap DLC, Karamari Hospital. Number 2, the Five Nights at Freddy's series. Yes, I know, FNAF has been done to death, but that doesn't mean it's not a great choice for Halloween, especially when you make unsuspecting family and friends who've never heard of the series play it. Not much explanation is needed for these games. You're in an office or a bedroom, depending on which you play, and you've got to check cameras and doors for any animatronics creeping around. If they do manage to sneak up on you, you'll get one of the most obnoxiously terrifying jump scares in gaming and receive a game over screen. But don't worry, you can start the night all over again and give it another go. Number 3, Franbow. Oh look, a nice game about a sweet little girl. Oh, her parents bought her a cute little kitty cat. Oh, they're playing together, that's so sweet. Oh my god, what is that? Oh, this isn't as nice as I thought. I don't think I've seen any other game that blends cuteness with extreme gore quite as well as this game does, but as unsettling as it may be at times, it's really fun to play. In this point-and-click adventure game, you take control of Franbow, a young girl who witnesses her parents' grisly deaths and winds up in a mental hospital. Using medication that shows her a terrifying parallel world, and with the help of her trusty feline friend, Mr. Midnight, Franbow plans her escape from the asylum and her journey back home. If you don't mind seeing chopped up body parts, Lovecraftian-esque horrors, and just general unpleasantness, then I definitely recommend this game to you. With the colourful characters, tragic story and beautiful graphics, you will not be disappointed. Number 4, Slender The Arrival. Another game that doesn't require much explanation, that seems to be the general rule for successful horror. Slender The Arrival has you travel to various places to complete different objectives, in order to find out what has happened to your friend Kate. You'll visit an abandoned house, an abandoned mine, an abandoned insert area here, and along the way Slender Man and his cohorts will do their best to frighten the pants off you. The only thing you have on your side is your flashlight and your speed, though even this can prove deadly if Slender Man decides to teleport right in front of you. If you'd rather settle for a shorter free game involving the titular character, there's always the original Slender The 8 Pages. But don't worry, just because it's free doesn't mean the spooks are any less terrifying. Number 5, Alien Isolation. It took years for somebody to make an Alien game that was 1, good, and 2, true to the source material. And here it is. Set 15 years after the events of the original Alien film, you play as Ellen Ripley's daughter, Amanda, as she tries to figure out what happened to her mother. Unlike previous entries in the Alien franchise, Alien Isolation requires you to rely on stealth and your wits in order to outsmart the xenomorph who chases you throughout the game. There are no weapons to speak of save for the flamethrower, and while it does scare the nasty critter away for a while, too much use will make the xenomorph somewhat resistant to your attacks, making it harder to shoot. At least Amanda can use a motion tracker to give her an advantage. Not a big one, mind you, but it's better than going in completely blind. Right? Oh, never mind. Number 6, Layers of Fear. Some people use acrylic, watercolour, or maybe even oils to paint their masterpieces. The unnamed protagonist of this game uses blood, bone and sinew. Wonderful!
Let's decide, maybe there's a happy tree.
Layers of Fear puts you in the shoes of this crazed painter who is completely obsessed with painting the most perfect picture possible. Besides dealing with themes of obsession and madness, the game also explores the protagonist's drinking problems and the dark road it's led him down. This guy has a pretty tragic story when you really get into it, but I won't spoil it for you here, so don't worry. While there are some complaints that Layers of Fear is nothing more than a walking simulator with a bit of horror thrown in, I think the story more than makes up for the lack of action. It's not meant to be a shoot 'em up kind of game, it's an atmospheric, psychedelic puzzle solving kind of game instead. Okay, words don't really do it justice, so just check it out and you'll see what I mean. If you really like the game, the DLC Layers of Fear Inheritance was released just a couple of months ago, so why not check that out too? Number 7, Until Dawn. What's this? A title only available on the PS4? Get out of here, you. Nah, I'm kidding, this game is really awesome. Okay, technically I haven't played this one as I don't own a PS4, but I've seen enough videos and yelled at people's bad decision making and button mashing to come to the conclusion that the game is seriously worth the playthrough. Until Dawn is a tribute to practically every teen slasher film there's ever been. You've got your horny teens going up to a lonely cabin in the middle of winter, horny teens getting it on, and horny teens being picked off one by a mysterious creature. Because everybody knows trying to have sex in anything horror related will get you killed. One more awesome thing to note is Peter Stormare's amazing performance as the analyst. Every question he asks you, no matter how insignificant, leaves you feeling very unsettled and on the edge of your seat. He also values honesty in the answers you give him, so you better be truthful when you tell him what terrifies you the most.
Oh. Did that startle you? So sorry. You're doing very well. Don't be nervous.
Number 8. The Park. At first glance, you're probably thinking, oh look, another game that involves an amusement park. That's original. And yes, that trope has been done to death. Cough, Silent Hill, cough, Left 4 Dead 2, but the park is so much more than that. Based off the same amusement park from Funcom's MMO game, The Secret World, the park puts you in the shoes of Lorraine, a single mother and widow who is desperately searching for her son Callum. The little rat decided that running into an abandoned amusement park was a great idea, I guess because he's never played the aforementioned games, and of course his mother runs after him. While searching for him, Lorraine is hounded by a mysterious figure wearing a top hat. Not much is known about him other than the fact that he's fucking creepy and that he seems to have some control over the park. But the game isn't just about haunted rides and top hat wearing fiends. It's also an exploration of Lauren's psyche and the effect that being a single widow mother has on her. She constantly doubts herself, talks about her past issues with mental health, and even goes so far as to outright say she hates her son for making her life a misery. By this point, you really do start to wonder if the creepy goings-on are real or if this is all in Lorraine's head. Number 9. Neverending Nightmares. You ever woken up from a dream so scary that you're glad it's over, only to realise you're still dreaming? Well, that's pretty much this times 10. In this game, you take control of Thomas, a man who suffers from terrible nightmares that are seemingly inescapable. If he's killed by a monster, or even kills himself, he'll reawaken in his bed, ready to start the nightmare all over again. Everything about this game is meant to induce a feeling of terror and depression. The visuals look like the work of Edward Gorey, a man who drew a lot of freaky illustrations in his life, and you can only see so far in front of you with your candle, something the game likes to take advantage of a lot. Much like previous entries on this list, Neverending Nightmares explores themes of mental illness. Creator Matt Gilgenbach, and I hope I'm saying that right, even stated that his depression is what inspired him to create the game. So think of it as his autobiography. I just hope his nightmares aren't as vivid and as terrifying as this. And finally, number 10, SCP Containment Breach. Another free game, but a very well crafted one at that, SCP Containment Breach is heavily based on the SCP Foundation, a collaborative writing website. SCP stands for both Special Containment Procedures and Secure, Contain, Protect. Protection from what, you ask? Well, anything that defies natural law, of course. Objects, beings, locations, anything that could pose a threat to humanity is secured and contained by the SCP Foundation to protect the public. See, it ties in with the slogan. So, back to the game. SCP Containment Breach puts you in the unfortunate shoes of test subject D9341, who must navigate their way through the facility in order to escape. One of the game's main mechanics is a blinking feature. That may sound odd, but we're playing a horror game where this lovely guy exists. SCP-173. A seemingly living concrete object that has the ability to cover vast distances fairly quickly while not being looked at. If it gets within range of you and you blink, snap. It's a broken neck and a game over for you. SCP-173 isn't the only horrifying thing you'll encounter in the Foundation. There's SCP-106, a humanoid creature that likes to pull its victims in a pocket dimension and torment them for days, and even SCP-895, an oak coffin that, on its own, doesn't do anything, but if viewed on a monitor will cause disturbing images to appear on the screen. Stare at them long enough and you'll eventually die. What fun! There are so many more terrible things to discover in the SCP Foundation, but I'm going to recommend you play the game and find out what they are. And that's my list of 10 games I think you should play this Halloween. I tried to stick to smaller games and not big well-known titles, but there are some that you just can't say no to. So, what games will you be playing this Halloween? Let me know in the comments section, and if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like as it really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye!